Welcome to Knowledge Hack, Ayrton Senna documentary. Born on March 21, 1960 in São Paulo, Brazil, Ayrton Senna da Silva displayed an extraordinary passion for racing from an early age. He began karting at the age of 4, and it quickly became evident that he possessed a natural talent for driving. His supportive family recognized his potential and nurtured his racing dreams, providing the foundation for what became one of the most illustrious careers in motorsports history. Senna's prowess in karting competitions soon caught the attention of Brazilian racing enthusiasts, and he rapidly ascended the ranks. By the time he was a teenager, Ayrton Senna had already claimed several karting championships and demonstrated a level of skill beyond his years. In 1981, Senna transitioned to single-seat racing, competing in the British Formula Ford 1600 Championship. He made a lasting impression by securing the title with an unprecedented 12 victories out of 20 races. This success catapulted him to Formula Ford 2000 Series in 1982, where he continued to dominate, winning the European and British Formula Ford 2000 Championships at the same time, with 22 wins out of a total of 28 races.
It must have an enormous future.
It does indeed, and quite an indication of his talent is how smooth he looks. At that time slightly ragged, but he doesn't seem flustered, the car isn't running off onto the dirt. It's a fair indication that this pilot has a lot of talent.
Out over the curbs, maybe a little bit unnecessary because he's still trying. Down he comes. Out of Dunlop, and that's the fist of the air and the checkered flag once again can be justly proud. There's De Silva, a face that we're going to know extremely well in the future.
One interesting characteristic of his driving was his relentless drive to the limit, also after opening large gaps to his rivals. This will often serve him and the public a great spectacle, but as we will see later on in this video, also contribute to unnecessary losses. In 1983, Senna debuts in Formula 3, dominating the series with 12 wins out of 20 races. Ayrton Senna's exceptional performances in the lower formula caught the attention of Formula 1 teams. In 1984, he made his Formula 1 debut with the Toleman team. Despite the team's limited resources and uncompetitive car, Senna showcases incredible talent in wet conditions, starting from 13th position at Monaco, his first street Grand Prix, and nearly securing his first Formula win, lost to a technicality despite finishing the race in first position.
Now Prost has gone through. The gap was 21 seconds. Lauda looking at Derek Warwick's car, taking an interest in everything all around him, perhaps wanting to delay the moment before he gets back, and we're still waiting for Senna to come through, and here he is. The gap now is down to 18 seconds. So Alain Prost in the lead is being caught quite rapidly. Here is Alain Prost on his 29th lap. Ayrton Senna has got the gap down from 31 seconds to 18 seconds.
Yes, this means that at the current rate of progress, Prost is going to have to find another gear, because Senna is catching him quite comfortably enough to do it well before the end of the race, with plenty of time to find a way around him.
Senna's outstanding performances at Toleman led to the Lotus team, rising star in the world of Formula 1. His first Formula 1 victory came at the 1985 Portuguese Grand Prix, where he showcased his wet weather mastery once again by lapping every car bar the second-placed car of Alboreto and winning the race.
Lotus mechanics, and off goes Mansell, and you can see that this usually totally unflappable, imperturbable Brazilian is for once absolutely beside himself. Look at him, both hands waving with joy.
I could not see anything in front of me. With the cars going in front, it was impossible to see anything, and you had to go by, because it was a big difference in the pace that I was going.
What does it mean to you to win your first Grand Prix?
It means that all the effort and the years that I have put behind motor racing since 4 years old, are giving me something good back, and not just for me, but especially for Team Lotus and JPS, and to all the Brazilians that cheer me up a lot.
The Portuguese Grand Prix will always be remembered for Ayrton Senna and a magnificent victory.
Senna remained at Lotus for 3 seasons and won a total of 6 Grand Prix. In 1988, Ayrton Senna joined forces with McLaren, forming one of the most formidable driver lineups in Formula One history alongside Alain Prost. The two became fierce rivals on and off the track, pushing each other to their limits. The 1988 season saw Senna and Prost engage in a gripping battle for the championship. One of the highlights of that year must definitely be the Monaco Grand Prix. Senna qualified an unbelievable 1.4 seconds faster than his teammate Alain Prost, securing the pole position and most probably the perfect Monaco lap. That race, Senna took it away starting from pole and never looked back, driving at a relentless pace. At lap 67, with 11 laps remaining to win the race and a 1-minute lead over second-placed Prost, Senna kept pushing, ignoring a radio call from his team to slow down, and finally clipped a barrier, taking himself out of the race and gifting the win to his teammate, Alain Prost. What Senna had to say about the race is a window into what makes Ayrton Senna one of the most extraordinary drivers of all times.
Today, I suddenly realized that I was no longer driving it conscious, and I was in a different dimension for me. The circuit for me was a tunnel, which I was just going, and I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding.
Senna recorded a total of 8 wins with 13 pole positions, while Prost crossed the finish line first a total of 7 times with 2 pole positions to his name, and Ayrton Senna won his first world championship. In 1989, Senna fiercely contested Prost for the title once again, which brings us to one of the most controversial races in F1 history. By the penultimate Japanese Grand Prix, Senna had won 6 races with 60 points total, while Prost had won 4 races but had 76 points total at the time of the Japanese Grand Prix, which was the penultimate race of the season and critical for the championship. Senna qualified on pole 1.5 seconds ahead of Prost, but Prost reduced the downforce on his vehicle by removing a part of the rear wing, passed Senna right at the start, and kept him behind until lap 46, 7 laps to the end, when Senna came in for a pass at the chicane before the start-finish straight. Prost turned in a bit early, colliding with Senna. Prost left his car, while Senna got marshals to push-start his car and rejoined the track by bypassing the chicane, going on to win the race by a 3-second margin. Senna's vehicle was however disqualified from the race, a move Senna believed was a plot against him by FIA President and Prost national Jean-Marie Balest. Since other drivers who took that same route had not been penalized before, this disqualification ensured Prost the title win for the 1989 F1 Championship. Senna went on to secure 2 World Championships in 1990 and 1991, showcasing his unparalleled speed, technical expertise, and sheer will to win. One race to remember was in 1991 Interlagos GP, Senna's home race, a race that despite all his race wins he had yet to win, Senna and his millions of Brazilian fans wanted nothing more than the Brazilian Grand Prix win. Things were looking good for Senna, restarting the race in pole position and maintained his lead, until his McLaren's gearbox started to give up. In a handful of laps, it lost every single gear in its transmission but 6th gear, the tallest gear, suddenly setting up second-place man Riccardo Patrese in a prime position for victory as he took out a chunk of seconds out of Senna's lead with each remaining round. However, just in time, rain started falling and Senna's gap with Patrese stabilized. Senna endured pain and physical exhaustion to finally win the race in the stricken vehicle, needing help to get out of the car and barely able to hold up his flag and trophy, cementing this as one of the greatest races of his career.
Now we're back in the car in the infield. What we need is a look in his mirror to see if we can see Patrese coming back. Unfortunately, all we can see is Ayrton's helmet. Whoops, there he was. I couldn't see him in the background, but he hasn't gained at all. And Senna tiptoeing, stuck in a high gear, I think. But the rain is coming down so hard, and that has really worked against Riccardo Patrese. And it does also mean if the race is stopped, it's stopped one lap retrospectively, and so Senna would already have won if it's stopped because of rain, because it's when the leader crossed the line the previous time. And here comes Ayrton Senna for a fine win.
In 1992, despite the Williams team's dominance, Senna continued to impress with his driving brilliance, securing more race victories and pole positions. In 1993, Senna's last season at McLaren saw the Master of the Rain claim one of the greatest victories at Donington, racing on a wet track and going from 5th to 1st by the end of the first lap, and then going on to lap the entire field but the second placed car.
Round the right-hander into the old hairpin, Senna is up to 3rd.
And after being crowded at the start, a quite brilliant couple of corners by Ayrton Senna. Tremendous stuff. He muscled his way back into the contention at Redgate. He's going inside Damon Hill. And Senna into second place already. And he's giving it absolutely everything in the wet part of the race.
So now, as before, the two great rivals, and that's Andretti. He's done it again on the very first lap. Andretti is out as he was in Brazil, as he almost was in South Africa. 3 Grand Prix, and he has only done 3 full laps. And so out is Wendlinger. So 2 retirements already. Michael Andretti and Carl Wendlinger, and Senna goes through into the lead. He's passed Alain Prost, so the McLaren leads, Prost second, Hill is third, a tremendous gap between the third and fourth cars.
Yes, and that must be caused by the Andretti and Wendlinger incident. We would assume that they may have had a coming together. We'll try and find out. Senna going away, but I expect that Damon Hill
The 1994 season brought about both triumph and tragedy for Ayrton Senna. He moved to the Williams team with the hopes of claiming another title. but faced technical difficulties with the car during the San Marino Grand Prix. On May 1st, 1994, Senna suffered a fatal crash at the Tamburello corner, shocking the world and leaving a profound void in Formula One. Ayrton was mourned by an entire nation and millions more around the world, with over 3 million people lining the streets for his state funeral in São Paulo. Ayrton Senna's legacy transcends the sport of Formula One. His skill, determination, and passion for racing continue to inspire generations of motorsport enthusiasts. Beyond his achievements on the track, he is remembered for his charitable work and commitment to improving the lives of underprivileged children in his native Brazil. Ayrton Senna's name lives on as an enduring symbol of speed, spirit, and determination. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos.